Hi friends, welcome back to the Avocado Toast Budget. If you are new here, my name is Lexa, and today we are doing another budget with me video using YNAB. YNAB stands for You Need a Budget. It is my favorite budgeting software. If you've never heard of it before, I will link a couple playlists up here and also leave some videos down in the description box below, but it is the zero-based budgeting software that I use. And today is a really exciting day because we are budgeting my last paycheck from my full-time job. If you don't know, I have recently quit my full-time job in healthcare to do the ATB full-time, and now I've got my last paycheck. So it's time for us to budget that. I'm going to show you what it's going to look like going from having a steady income to preparing to have a more variable income, what my budget kind of looks like because of that, how I've changed some things around, and hopefully you can learn some cool things about how you can set up your budget or how you can go about budgeting and preparing for having variable income. Also, I just want to say a big thank you guys. We just recently hit 4,000 subscribers. I'm so excited. I just started the ATV back in September, so this is crazy that there are so many of you, and I have enjoyed every second along the way. It is my goal to hit 5,000 before the end of May. It's a big goal, but I think that we can do it. So if you are not already subscribed and you enjoy personal finance videos, you want to learn more about saving, paying off debt, and how to finally feel more confident with your money, make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below. That way we can hit 5,000 by the end of May. And if you are already subscribed, thank you so much for being here. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so this is my budget inside of YNAB. This is what it looks like right now. I have a personal budget, a budget for the ATB, and a joint account budget. This is my personal budget. So the first thing that we need to do is I used to not, if you go back and look at some of my older videos, I didn't automatically connect my bank accounts into YNAB, but recently I have. Mainly because April was just kind of a whirlwind with me quitting my job, and to be perfectly honest with you, I did not track my spending the way that I normally do, so I went ahead and just synced up my budget to kind of help me keep on track and miss any payments that I might have missed plugging into my budget, and it has helped a lot. So because of that, YNAB alerts me that there are some payments that I need to either accept or reject or categorize by giving me these little dots right here. So it looks like my checking account, my Amex, and my Discover I kind of need to make sure that I'm all caught up on. So I will show you what that looks like first, and then we will go about budgeting my last paycheck. So if I click on my checking account, up here it says 4 new transactions. So this is actually my paycheck, so I'll go ahead and approve that. I have been trying out Digit because a few of you had asked me about that. So this was one of the automatic contributions into a savings account there. So I'm not going to put the savings into my budget just yet, but I'm just going to go ahead and put this under random shit, and then I'll show you how to cover that spending. And then this is a payment from my checking to my Discover, so I'm going to approve that as well. I'll come down here to Discover. We'll approve that. This is in fact all of my couponing, so we'll go ahead and approve those transactions. And then my American Express. So HelloFresh is actually a joint account expense. I must have accidentally had it come out of my Amex rather than our credit card, so I'm just going to put this under random shit, and then I'll have our joint account cover that expense later. DoorDash should be eating out. This Amazon purchase was actually part of my groceries, so I'll put that there. This is Audible, which I thought I canceled, but maybe not. And then more couponing. So I'll go ahead and approve those categories. This is just telling me who the payee is, the category they've assigned to it. You can change it. They just kind of like analyze your spending to decide what they think that you are probably spending at those stores, and they know that Walgreens and CVS, usually the only purchases I'm making are couponing purchases. So I'm going to approve that. We are good to go here. So now I have to go to my budget and figure out where I have overspent. My Amex is yellow because I've probably overspent on my credit card, meaning that I spent more on my credit card than was available in that category. Specifically, random shit, which as you can see, I have way overspent on random shit a lot this month, and most of my covering that overspending has come from my groceries because I have not spent as much money on groceries this month. So I'm just going to go ahead and cover that overspending with groceries as well. I don't really plan on buying any more groceries the rest of this month. If so, I might spend like $40 on groceries. I'm definitely not going to spend $86, so I'm not worried about that there. And then I'm actually just going to open up all of these and make sure that I don't have any more overspending. in any categories. Okay, looks like I am good to go there. So that is what just kind of like reconciling inside of YNAB looks like, making sure that I have all of my transactions inside of there. I also know that a lot of you had questions since there is a delay between you actually making your purchases and it showing up in YNAB. I don't know if this is out to everyone. I think that it possibly is, but I know that they were test driving this right here, which is pending transactions. So I can go through and see this is money that I've already spent, but it's not showing up yet because it hasn't gone all the way through yet. So you can go through and like these I know won't actually come out because they messed up and they weren't coming out of my account. So those will end up just dropping off. They won't like show as an actual charge. They'll just drop off after pending. But things like Walmart, which I don't remember what I bought from Walmart, so I need to come back to that. And then CVS, that was probably couponing, they will end up coming off. So if I wanted to right now, I could go ahead and include those in my budget since I did already spend that money. Same thing goes for, it shows up on my Discover. I don't know if it shows up on your bank account. It doesn't look like it. So that might only be something that is available for credit cards. Maybe debit cards. I don't ever spend money out of my checking account on a debit card. So I don't know if it works on debit cards, but it might. But now that that is all good to go, we can see up here that my budget has $1,882.46. Now that is not all money that I am keeping. I contribute 30% to our joint account. Normally I just go ahead and automatically like deduct that before I put that money in, since it goes straight from this checking account into our joint account. But to show you guys kind of like what that looks like, I'll go ahead and do that here. So I'll add a transaction, put in our joint account, and I'm actually just going to take it from to be budgeted, and I'm going to calculate what that would be. Okay, so that's about $560 that I need to put into our joint account. So that leaves us with $1,300-ish to budget this paycheck in my personal account. We'll go in later and budget that $560 inside of my joint account. Okay, so I went ahead and moved $560 from my checking to our joint checking. I showed that in YNAB, so we are all good to go. Now I need to decide what I want this money to do for me. And this is going to look a little bit different since this is my last steady paycheck. And I know that my pay is going to be much more variable now that I am working for myself. And most of what I do is just based off of sponsorships, ad revenue, and affiliate marketing, and that's never the same month to month. So there might be months that the ATB doesn't make any money. There might be months that the ATB makes a lot more money. So I want to make sure that my budget is prepared for that. And one of the ways that I've decided to do that is I want to make sure that I remain a month ahead in my finances. And then after I'm a month ahead in my finances, I used to just budget as ahead as I possibly could. So after filling up 1 month ahead, I would go to 2 months to 3 months. But instead, I've changed things around, and I'll show you what that looks like just to kind of help me stay a little bit more organized. So it looks like I still have some stuff that I need to budget for May. So I'm actually just going to come up here, highlight all of my categories, unclick student loan and payments because I'm not making those until September. Unless they get extended, then I will continue to not pay those. So if I do that, highlight all of these blue categories mean that I am underfunded. It means that I need to put more money into these categories to meet my goals. So if I click here, it shows underfunded $420. That means that I need to add $420 in total to these categories in order for me to be fully funded for the month of May. If you're confused and you're like, how does she know how much to spend? Where do these goals come into play? Definitely take a step back and watch this video here. This is my YNAB step-by-step setting up my 2021 budget, where I go through and show you start to finish how I came up with these numbers, how I came up with this setup, and how YNAB works when you're setting up your budget. This is just how I go through and budget each paycheck after I've established all of those goals. So we can see here, after putting the $400 and some in, to cover the month of May, I have $902 left. So what has changed here is I've actually started a regular emergency fund. I used to not have just a specific emergency fund. My emergency fund was the fact that I budgeted ahead, and I had all of my sinking funds budgeted ahead as well, so that I was covered for months to come. But now, since everything is going to be a little bit different and I don't know when I'm going to get paid again or how much, I just want to go ahead and have a lump sum emergency fund. This might change when it's actually in practice, but since I am preparing to have more of a variable income, I again want to make sure that I'm covered for the next month because I won't pay myself again until May 15th. So I want to make sure that I'm at least covered through then, and then giving myself a couple of weeks buffer. And also I want to make sure that I have money set aside specifically for an emergency fund in case there are some months that the ATV just doesn't make any money, or if something comes around and I need to cover an expense. This is also coming from the fact that I know here when I turn 26 in like 11 months, I am going to have to be on my own insurance, and since I am working for myself, that is going to be very expensive. So I want to make sure that I have like a good chunk of money set aside. My goal here is, I believe, yes, $6,000. So I settled on $6,000 because that's about 3 months of full expenses. That's not what I spend. I don't spend $2,000 in a month, but that includes all of my savings goals, my debt payoff goals when I am paying on my student loans. Let's assume I'm paying on my student loans, and all of my variable expenses. It basically just rounds to $2,000, so I went ahead and made a goal to try to set aside $6,000 inside of an emergency fund. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here. I'm just going to add the bulk of this, $900, to that emergency fund. It was a little delayed. I wasn't sure what was going on there. But there we go. It put that $900 in there. That brings me up to $3,400, which if I look over here, that means I have $2,500 left that I need to save inside of my emergency fund to reach that full 3-month goal. And keeping in mind that this is on top of the fact that I'm already budgeted ahead by a month, and I have other savings goals in here like car repairs and medical, phone replacements, just like an oh shit category for things that I forget, everything like that. Now this extra $2.03 is just going to go toward my spare change category. This isn't like a specific savings goal. I just put anytime I have like a little bit of change left in here. Hopefully it'll add up throughout the year, and then I'll decide what I want to do with it. So that is it. The majority of my money just went toward budgeting ahead and putting it inside of this emergency fund. Now that moving ahead, my income is going to be very variable. So now let's go ahead and switch over to our joint account and budget that $560. Now, of course, my first step always is to import any new transactions or approve any new transactions that I have. So it looks like those just need to be approved and synced. Oh, this was a deposit to our savings. Liz did that. That's why I forgot. So I'm just going to change the payee here and change it to transfer to joint savings. Then I won't need a category because it's not like I'm losing money. It's just kind of moving around. I'll hit approve on that one. What is this? This was HelloFresh, so I'll change that. The reason that it says Capital One 360 is because for some reason our HelloFresh used to come out of the ATB account. I don't know how I did that. And I actually haven't established a HelloFresh category yet, so that's something that we're going to do here in a little bit. So I'm actually just going to put it under whoops, and then we'll take care of that. This was that transfer, so we're good to go there. This is my Planet Fitness membership, so I accidentally took it out of our joint account. So again, I'm just going to put it under whoops, and then I'll have my personal account cover that. Pets Best Insurance is this one. DTE Energy is our energy bill. This was a payment. Pets Best Insurance, this is this other one. One is for Dory, one is for Oliver. And then Ring, I actually need to go in and cancel this because our apartment complex just told us that we can't have a Ring system, which I thought was like really weird. We've had this Ring system for like a year, but they just told us that it's against policy. So we had to take that down. So I need to go ahead and just cancel that, but we are good to go there. Now we can go to checking and add in our paycheck. So this is going to be under Alexa paycheck, inflow, to be budgeted, and that was $560. So that is how I input our paycheck into our joint account. That's going to show up over here under to be budgeted, and this is where we start to actually budget our paycheck. So the first thing that I want to do is address the fact that we don't have a HelloFresh category. It's kind of new to us. I'm still not sure how much it is exactly, but I believe it's like $36 a week. Okay, so that's 144 a month, so I'll just put that in there. That's 144 a month. Okay, let's just round it up. We'll just call it $150 for HelloFresh a month. I'm gonna add a little emoji. We'll do that. Okay, HelloFresh, $150. So I need to make a new goal to save $150 every month. We're already through April. We already spent all of our HelloFresh, so I'm not gonna add anything to that, but for May, we'll need to fund that. So let's go ahead and just cover this overspending with what is in our to be budgeted. So we have $487 left of my paycheck. We are good to go for the rest of April. So let's go ahead and head over to May and see if there's anything we still need to budget for. Okay, so other than HelloFresh, we're budgeted through May, but let me go ahead and just adjust that. So I'll click the underfunded button. That'll put $150 into HelloFresh. And then I'm gonna start budgeting for June because again, the ATB is only going to pay us once a month. So I wanna make sure that we are as ahead in our budget as possible. Liz will still get a paycheck every other week, but we are used to budgeting our joint account once a week because the weeks that I got paid were different than what she did. So that was really nice because we kind of had a steady inflow of cash, but that's not going to be the case anymore. So I want to make sure that we are as covered as possible. So chances are I am probably just going to look into putting a good chunk of this toward rent for June since that is one of our bigger expenses. Okay, I'm just going to put $300 toward rent. So rent is more than halfway covered for June and it's fully covered for May. And then I'm gonna see if there's anything else that I can fully fund in these like fixed expenses. I can do Toggle insurance and I can do Dash Pass and I can do iCloud. So I talked about this the last time, but I could totally just like put this money inside of rent, but I like seeing more green. So I like just filling up like some of those smaller expenses because it makes me feel a little bit more accomplished. And then honestly, I'll probably just go back into April and take this $5.82 and move it into our spare change category. Sometimes I try to aim for like putting less than like a couple dollars in there, but honestly, I know I don't have anything else that $5 could fully cover. So I would rather just put it in the spare change category and help it add up to hopefully where we can save a good chunk of money and put it toward whatever we want to. Most likely it's going to be a vacation fund. And that is it. That is how I budget my last paycheck inside of my personal budget and then also our joint account budget. I really hope that you enjoyed and you learned something cool today. If you did, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm, helps boost this video to the top. That way more people can find this content. And I will see you all next time. Bye.